Well, good afternoon, everybody. First of all, let me make sure, as usual, that everything is working as it should over there in YouTube land. Just do this one moment, just to make sure that everything's going as it should do. Okay, I think I'll keep that there handy. I think everything is as it should be. And hi everybody. Where to start? Why don't I share some images with you? Just read a few things out. Let's start off with where should we start? Let's start down here. Here we go. Here's a good place to start. This was last week. This was last week. Hi, Channel 5 are putting out a two-part documentary about Luke's case at 9 o'clock next week, Wednesday 24th and Thursday 25th. I wasn't able to say anything before now, hence the long silence, but from everything I know, they have done a fantastic job. You can help now by getting the word out about this everywhere you can. Thank you for your support, Sandra. And of course, the first thing to say is that it's a great documentary. It's only 2 hours long, not even 2 hours long. It's not quite the 20-hour epic of Making the Murderer. That really doesn't matter. I remember meeting Sandra Lane. I'm going to say last summer, or no, it was the summer before. Or was it sort of just after the summer? Anyway, it was a long time ago that I met Sandra Lane. I had already got hold of the book. Let me share a better image of the book. I should have it here. Yeah, there we go. If you haven't done so already, please do check out Sandra Lane's book, Innocence Betrayed. It must be about 2 years since I got hold of this book, because I have been forever quoting these two paragraphs from it, which I will read straight away. I think absolutely brilliantly written. The first, an accusation has been levelled at me time and time again that telling this story is disrespectful to the victim and her family. I disagree. What is disrespectful to anyone is accepting at face value information which is demonstrably false, scenarios which make no logical sense, and gaping holes covered over to shore up weak and questionable explanations, especially when that information, those scenarios and explanations, are used specifically to bring a false sense of closure to the grieving, and bereft, and at the same time to rob innocent people of their freedom. I'll just read one other paragraph which comes straight after it in the book. From Sandra Lane. So this is what she wrote in the book. Truth in the early paragraphs. Truth seeking is a precarious and often maligned pursuit. To be labelled a crazy conspiracy theorist, interfering do-gooder, fame seeker, evil bitch, murderer, lover, sicko, these are the reactions of many who are afraid of the truth. That fear is understandable. We believe that justice and those we trust to take care of justice for us are the very foundations on which our safety and security are built. If they cannot protect us, who can? But those who react so negatively out of fear miss the most central point of truth-seeking It is not only to ensure the correct person has been convicted, but also to discover what really happened. In this case, to a 14-year-old girl whose death is unimaginable. So quite powerful stuff there. I'm sure you'll agree from Dr. Sandy Lane. It was it was Derek Edmond, bless him, who was in the on the show with Sharon and Jerome and a couple of other people whose name I hadn't come across before. Derek, a former pupil of mine, told me about this Luke Mitchell case a couple of years back. I must admit, at the time, I remember back in early 2000 when in the 2000s, back in 2003, I remember what a sensational case it was with regards to constantly in the newspapers. I must admit, having watched Making a Murderer and seen the news conference by Ken Kratz, you can't help thinking, how on earth does Ken Kratz get away with his press conference? And so on Friday, I'm looking forward this coming Friday to having a chat with Michael Cicchini, who's written a book about the bizarre laws over there in Wisconsin, and specifically how Ken Kratz got by the press conference. But it must beg a belief, surely, to most normal people, that that this case was, such a high-profile case, and yet, details about Luke Mitchell, who's only 14, spread over the newspapers. I was always under the impression that was not allowed, that there was, reporting restrictions in place. It seems very bizarre that there weren't. Anyway, I think, having watched the documentary, I think some of us would have taken away, I would hope, the impression that that the journalists themselves are a little bit shocked at what went down. So yes, as I say, I was alerted to this Luke Mitchell case by Derek. Got hold of the book, got in touch with Sandra Lane. Who would believe it? Such a small world. Embarrassed to say that I am old enough to be able to say that I used to work alongside Sandra Lane's dad. That's how old I am, and that's how long I've been in the borders. So yeah, got in touch, and as I say, had the usual small world conversations. And I remember going and meeting outside the Dean Tavern at Newton Grange with Sandra Lane for an hour and a half discussing the case. Many of you will have heard of the West Memphis 3 case. Again, a really, really disturbing case. This is the one that Sandra Lane said, of all the cases, of all the documentaries you'll see, the West Memphis 3 case is probably the one that is most similar to Luke's case. Obviously, the you've got the Jesse Miss Kelly and the Damon Eccles, and the name of the other guy escapes me, but they were taken in and considered these evil people, particularly Damien Eccles, who was apparently one of these satanic worshippers. Obviously, within the Making a Murderer community, we've got some fantastic people out there. Not my verbiage. Linda's there in the chat. She's done videos and is concerned about the case. As I say, Sharon Sunshine, Derek. There's, and obviously Jerome. There's plenty of people. Plenty of people in looking at the Making a Murderer case that are looking also at this case, and just how good is it to finally have a documentary that people can look at. Now, I do realise that at the moment, I'm not sure if people in America or Australia can get hold of this particular documentary. Let's hope that Netflix pick it up and decide to spread it worldwide, and I'm sure that would be great. But I'm just really delighted for Sandra. That's she's been the pioneer in all of this. She's the one that's really driven this case forward. And I'll say I'm just really pleased that. As I messaged her on Friday, I said, great documentary. Looking forward to a chat. She said, look, I'm so busy answering all these various messages. Hopefully I'll get her on and we'll have a chat about the more of the, if you like, the specifics of the case. But I think it's very important, as with the Making a Murderer case, that we exercise a certain amount of caution. As Sandra Line pointed out in that last paragraph, to murder a 14-year-old girl is just unimaginable. I just can't think of any reason why you would murder Jodie. It's just nonsensical, isn't it? Is that girl's life worth so little that it's just a case of silencing somebody for whatever reason? I don't know. What I do know, and I have to be careful here, but I have spoken to one or two members of, let's use the term, law enforcement. Some that was quite close to the case. On behalf of the police, I would first point out that they have got huge pressure. When you've got a crime such as Jodie Jones' murder, the pressure on them to solve that case, because of the publicity, the violence of the crime, the obscenity of the senseless murder in such a horrible way of a 14-year-old girl, that's going to create huge pressure on the police in that area. One of the things I didn't pick up from the documentary or anywhere else is any suggestion that although Luke describes himself as the local weirdo, whether he's had any previous history, for want of a better word, with the police. It's been suggested to me he might have. I don't know. But whether that would warrant, making him suspect number one, seems a bit far-fetched. But as I say, I don't think we can underestimate the amount of pressure that was brought about on the police. And I think, unlike Making a Murderer and the West Memphis 3, I think we can here in Scotland say that, to be honest, the police, most of the time, as long as you're not antagonising them, that they're doing an excellent job. They do the best they can. That's certainly been my experience of the police. So one wonders, was it the press feeding the police or the police feeding the press that caused this to spiral basically out of control? And of course, how could you possibly, I would have hated if I had been asked to be a juror at that trial. Because given the amount of respect that we have for the police, if they've put forward their suspect, charged him with a crime, that's them saying, we think this guy is guilty. They don't bring them to court if they're if they think they're not guilty, and they usually don't bring them to court unless they've got evidence to substantiate charging somebody, bringing them to court. But I would have hated to have been a juror at Luke Mitchell's trial, because whatever doubt you might have had would have to be balanced against the fact that that the police have brought charges against, the Crown prosecution have brought charges against Luke Mitchell because they think that he's guilty. And woe betide anybody. Imagine the repercussions if you were the main one that instigated a not guilty verdict. Would that have caused problems? But the bottom line is, as some of you will know from having watched again another very famous documentary called The Staircase, and the lawyer there is David Rudolph, and he very famously points out, in the case of Michael Peterson, that he would have liked the third option: guilty, not guilty, or not proven. And he famously says, in Scotland, they have not proven. Would that not have been a good option to have taken in this case? Well, again, having spoken with one retired police chief, he's not sure that not proven is as good an option as some of us might think. It's difficult to say. It's very difficult to say whether the not proven would be an option for Luke. What that would have done. Personally, I don't think that Luke Mitchell should be where he is. I don't think that he was proven beyond a reasonable doubt. And as I say, I'm certainly, you can certainly see some of the parallels, can't you, between Making a Murderer and this case, not least for the fact that there are, well, according to the documentary, I saw mention of very many suspects, with, of course, Luke being bottom of the list, but there were other suspects that looked far more suspicious, obviously. Was it just a case of extreme tunnel vision? Was it because some people within the police felt that they knew they knew Luke's character? I've not seen much of that. There's questions, I'm sure, that we would want to. Yeah, Jazz, that's exactly what I've said. Yeah, Scotland does have this this not proven verdict is one of the options. It's not a great option, as the retired police chief was telling me. It's not a great option because you end up going back into your community where the finger of suspicion is always being pointed at you. You might be technically enjoying your freedom, but there again, on the other hand, you might not be enjoying it that much at all. Hi Wanda, and hi Linda. Yes. So, feeling at the moment is great delight, pleasure, and satisfaction that all of Dr. Sandra Lean's work is starting to come to huge fruition. The Facebook page to do with this case, well, there might be several. Certainly there's a GoFundMe on the go. There's a Facebook pages that you can go and check out. Just growing enormously. When now that people have seen a balanced documentary looking at the case, where you've got experts, that's the other thing. Having proper, retired detectives looking through the case, giving us the benefit of their insight and how they might look at trying to solve the case. But as I say, sorry, got sidetracked then for a wee while. I think it's very important that because there are other suspects in this case, you have to be very, very careful that you give the same, you give people the presumption of innocence that was denied the West Memphis Three, that was denied Stephen Brendan, that was denied Luke Mitchell. Otherwise we're just being hypocritical, aren't we? For me, as I say, I look at the making a murder case. There is suspicious. There are suspicions on at least 3 or 4 members, possibly more, of the community there in Manitowoc and further afield. Obviously, thanks to the documentary, we've seen mention of some of the suspects, and one that for legal reasons couldn't be named, and that was top of the list. One wonders what the legal issue is there. I must admit, I found some of the stuff very strange. The fact that obviously there was a recently used condom, but then you wonder, well, why would somebody go to the effort of using a condom if they were planning on killing them once they've attacked them? So it's very, very bizarre, isn't it? This case, it raises so many questions about who else might, who the true perpetrators were. It seems certainly to me unlikely that it was Luke Mitchell. I'm not going to say that it wasn't him. I don't think anybody can say that. I think what we can ask is the question, in the case of the West Memphis Three, as in Stephen Avery, Brendan Dassey, did they receive a fair trial? Were they convicted beyond a reasonable doubt? Were they, where there's the kind of doubt that we see in Making a Murder, the West Memphis Three, and Luke Mitchell, then I don't think we can say that. Yes, I think most of the time we can say of the police, they do a great job. They're under huge pressure. It is such a senseless crime, though. Why kill a 14-year-old girl? It just does not make sense to me at all. I've got I've shared the front cover of Dr. Sandra Lane's excellent book. I'll share the front again, and I'll also share the back page. That's what I'll do, yes. First of all, don't worry, I will get quicker at this the more I do it. But here is the front cover to Sandra Lane's book. And please take an interest in this excellent book. Innocence Betrayed, a true story of justice abandoned. I'll just, once again, no apologies. I'm just going to go through these quotes again. An accusation has been levelled at me time and time again that telling this story is disrespectful to the victim and her family. No. What's disrespectful is convicting the wrong person, particularly the boyfriend, the current boyfriend. I disagree. What is disrespectful to anyone is accepting at face value information which is demonstrably false, scenarios which make no logical sense, and gaping holes covered over to shore up weak and questionable explanations, especially when that information, those scenarios and explanations are used specifically to bring a false sense of closure to the grieving and bereft, and at the same time to rob innocent people of their freedom. Okay, just maybe for the benefit of people that have arrived just recently. Truth-seeking is a precarious and often maligned pursuit. To be labelled a crazy conspiracy theorist, interfering do-gooder, fame-seeker, evil bitch, murderer, lover, sicko, these are the reactions of many who are afraid of the truth. That fear is understandable. We believe that justice and those we trust to take take care of justice for us are the very foundations on which our safety and security are built. And I think, as I say, that most of the, certainly here in Scotland, I think we're very lucky that we have, people involved in the legal system, police officers, prosecutors, etc., lawyers that, that do a good job. But if they cannot protect us, who can? But those who react so negatively out of fear miss the most central point of truth-seeking. It's not only to ensure the correct person has been convicted, but also to discover what really happened. In this case, to a 14-year-old girl whose death is unimaginable. So I've got here, here we go. If you want to get hold of the book, this is the Amazon page to do with the book. This is the true story of the murder of 14-year-old Jodie Jones in Scotland in 2003. But could the boy convicted of that murder, Jodie's boyfriend, Luke Mitchell, also 14 at the time, be innocent? Innocence Betrayed examines the truth buried in the case files, disclosing for the first time evidence of manipulation of witnesses, forensic failings, crime scene contamination, dishonesty and more, in an account that took almost 15 years to piece together from witness statements, court transcripts, forensic reports, crime scene management logs, and media coverage. The author, Dr. Sandra Lane, probes the consequences of sacrificing true justice in the pursuit of convictions and questions the impact of too close collaboration between investigators, key witnesses, and the media. A meticulous examination of the official story with reference to all of the evidence reveals another story far removed from the one that has dominated media coverage for a decade and a half. The evidence claimed to prove Luke Mitchell's guilt crumbles under scrutiny, and the official narrative collapses in a sea of unsupported assumptions, discredited eyewitness evidence, impossible scenarios, and outright dishonesty. Could the conviction of Luke Mitchell be, in reality, a shocking miscarriage of justice? I've got one more here I wanted to share with you. We've had a look at the front cover. Here's the back cover. The brutal murder of 14-year-old Jodie Jones on a warm summer evening in 2003 cast a black shadow of fear and anger over the whole of Scotland. In what was to become one of the most high-profile cases in Scotland in recent years, the murder investigation focused almost immediately on Jodie's 14-year-old boyfriend, Luke Mitchell, and remained there until he was convicted 9 months later in January 2005. But was justice really done? Or did a blinkered determination to obtain a conviction at any cost blind investigators to other possibilities, leading to the incarceration of an innocent boy while a vicious killer slipped away scot-free? If the pursuit of true justice is sacrificed to the pursuit of convictions alone, where does that leave those convicted as a result, and their families, the victims and their families, and us as ordinary members of the public? Criminologist Dr. Sandra Lane has spent 15 years painstakingly sifting through the case, searching for the one thing she believes investigators ignored, the truth. Innocence Betrayed shines a spotlight on aspects of our justice system that many of us have never seen: shocking omissions, manipulations, and outright lies, deliberately utilized to drive the entire investigation in one unrelenting direction, regardless of what else the evidence suggested. This book lifts the veil on our beliefs and understandings about what is done in the name of justice, and reveals a dark, secretive world to which we rarely have access. Was Luke Mitchell proven beyond reasonable doubt to have been Jodie's killer? The author invites you to read all of the evidence and decide for yourself. Do you believe true justice has been attained? Well, luckily, Sandra, we now not only have your excellent book to look at, we now have a great documentary. And as I say, I was sent the message the week before, to say, look, there's this documentary coming out because that's what we need. I must admit, I did ask her when I met her 18 months ago or more, what's the situation with regard to getting a Kathleen Zellner type lawyer to look at the case. Unfortunately, the system in Scotland does not work the same as it does in Manitrock. Um, maybe Jodie's Kathleen Zellner will be Sandra Lane, um, and others that will look at the case. Let's have a look now at some of the people who have commented. So we've got Jazz, hi Jazz, and Sylvia Irvin, hi there Sylvia, and Darren Walker. Darren Walker, Denise Darnell Cooper, Denise K. Cooper is the hidden name. I don't know about that. Not my word. Linda. Can we do a walk for Luke? Yes, although I'm not sure about at the moment with the COVID restrictions. Certainly, there's a GoFundMe organised by Sandra Lane. I should have had that up ready to go as well. Now I was sent information about it. Maybe I can. So, here. No, not that one. Okay, let's have a look down here. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Here's the GoFundMe. See if I can share this fundraiser. Let's see if I can pop this up on screen. First of all, what are we up to? See if I can do this. What are we up to so far on the GoFundMe? No, it's not telling me what the current situation is. Okay, let's do this very, very quickly, and then we'll get back to looking at some more of the comments. Let's go up here, and let's come down here. Wow, that is fantastic news. Let me see if I can add this in to the stream. The fundraiser organised had a target of 5,000. This is money just to help Corinne, and at the moment 14,000. So well done to everybody that's donated to that. Nearly 3,000 shares, 700 followers, and 700 donors. Created 3 days ago, and there's us. There's Dr. Sandra Lane up to 14,000. Where's the? Hold on a sec. I know exactly what to do. Sorry for my slow denseness in this. If I just go to the live chat and just paste that in. There you go. There's the GoFundMe. That should appear now in the comments. Yeah, there we go. There's the if you want to make a donation to help that poor woman whose caravan business was attacked, set on fire. It seems that in particular did remind me of Alan and Dolores Avery, and the Avery family in general, what they had to go through with the hatred of people in Manitowoc. You beat me, did you? Not for the first time, Linda. Not for the first time, I'm sure. Okie dokie. Let's go back and see what some of the people were saying. I think we got so far and then got sidetracked. So anyway, let's go back up to the top here and see what we've got. We've got hi Paul, hi Sylvia, yep, Darren. We do a walk. We got as far as that. Justice for Luke. Yeah, great book. Hi everyone. We need to protest. Yeah, make noise and tell Luke stories. Not my verbiage. Hi. Yes, you're right, Linda. It was very much a case of, as Luke said himself, the local weirdo. Let's pin it on him. One would hope, that there was more than just this suspicion that caused them to look at Luke, but unfortunately, it doesn't necessarily look like that was the case at all. Hi, Alice, and Jazz. Now, there's a lot of people here in the watching, so by all means, if you can see where it says live chat, if you click on that, then the menu pops down, and you can add your own comments. I think the one thing you have to do though is you have to subscribe to YouTube. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe to YouTube. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe to various channels either, unless you're going to go for the premium channels that demand a certain amount per month. But most of the channels are free of charge. But otherwise, you'll be able to watch a video, but you won't necessarily be able to comment, both in the comment section below the video or on the live chat. I will endeavour to leave some of the information, certainly as regards how to get hold of the Innocence Betrayed book and the fundraising. I'll leave that in the in the description below. Alice, I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. The number of people who went to presentations by Dean Strang and Jerry Buting, going way back. I remember going in 2017 to see Dean Strang and Jerry Buting at the Usher Hall. I've seen Steve Drizzen and Laura Nyrider in Edinburgh. Obviously Sydney and Melbourne. I've seen David Rudolph a couple of times. I've seen Jerry Buting more times than anybody else. I say Edinburgh, Amsterdam, and back in Edinburgh again. Um, it's one of those things that I remember Steve Drizzen saying that when he did a show with Law and I Rider in, I think it was Birmingham, somebody in the audience came up to him and said, "Look, if I'd have done to Brendan what Wiegert and Fassbender had done, then I'd be out of my job." And we like to, don't we, in the UK, we pride ourselves on the fact that there are things that go on in America that we think would never occur here. But unfortunately, the way that, to me, the way it seems the police and the press, the media, handled this case has caused a huge problem. Anyway, yes, Sandra is Luke's KZ. Let's carry on down, see what else we've got here. Hi, Sylvia. Okay, I think we've gone through all of the people in the chat there. As I say, I'll post the link certainly to the Amazon, how to get hold of Innocents Betrayed through Amazon. And I say, well worth getting. Big, thick book. It'll take you a while to get through that, I can assure you. A lot of hard work on behalf of Sandra. I'm absolutely delighted, obviously, although Luke is still inside, absolutely delighted for Sandra that things have progressed as well as they have. Oh, there you go. Where's it gone? It suddenly moves up. But parts 1 and 2 can be seen in the US on these links. So if this is a YouTube link, yes, it might be blocked in some countries. I know that's sometimes a problem when it gets blocked in other countries. Hopefully you'll be able to get hold of it though and watch it. Let's see. Good stuff. I think that'll do fine for today. Next scheduled live chat is with, as I say, Michael Cicchini, this coming Thursday, 6 o'clock UK time. That's 10 o'clock in the morning American time. Okay, so we'll see you then, but probably before then. I'm certainly looking to carry on reviewing Dr. Richard Leo's testimony in Brendan's case and strengthening forensic science for the US in general. They often say, don't they, what happens in America gets echoed here in later on, years to come. It just seems to me that, yes, making a murderer, West Memphis 3, unfortunately, much as here in the UK, we think of that as an American problem. Nah, we're seeing it can be a problem anywhere in the world. A lot of people point to the Linda Chamberlain case, don't they, in Australia? Okay, I'll say cheerio, and we'll catch you all again soon. Thank you all for joining in, and once again, huge congratulations to Sandra. I know you're going to be kept busy, but Sandra, if you could at some point join me for a chat, that would be absolutely brilliant. And we'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.